Good afternoon. In the previous session, we have covered data link layer and the physical layers. And now in this session, we will cover network layers and along with that, the rest of the layers hopefully. So first and foremost, the network layer. Now, the network layer is responsible for source to destination delivery of a packet. So basically, in the previous layer that we have seen, that is the data link layer, it was hop to hop delivery or node to node delivery. So if the source and destination nodes or devices are connected by multiple devices in between, so data link layer was responsible for the delivery in between the devices. Now network layer, whereas, is responsible from, so as I gave the example of A and Z, and there is a device in between X which is connecting A and Z, then network layer is responsible for the delivery from A to Z. It does not concern itself with in between devices or nodes. So the network layer is responsible for source to destination delivery of a packet. So in this case, in the data link layer, we had something known as frames, but in the case of network layer, we have packets. So the data link layer oversees the delivery of the frame between the two systems on the same network link, while the network layer ensures that each packet gets from its point of origin to its final destination. It does not concern itself between the it does not concern itself with the intermediate nodes. So if two systems are connected on the same link, so suppose if we have two systems A and B on the same link, then there is no need for the network layer. However, if the two systems are attached to different networks, so we have A connected to Z and then Z is connected to B. So in this case, we need a network layer to ensure that the packet reaches from A to B. So here there is a need for the network layer to check the source to destination delivery. This figure shows the relation between the network layer, the data link layer, and the transport layer. So this in between is the network layer. It will take the data from transport layer, attach its own header, which will be known as a packet, and it will pass it on to data link layer. This is the sender side. While on the receiver side, it will send the data from the data link layer to the transport layer. It is in the form of a packet. Now, what are the responsibilities of a network layer? So the first and foremost responsibility is, or the function is, logical addressing. If you remember, for the data link layer, it was physical addressing. Here, logical addressing is handled by the network layer. So if the packet passes the network boundary, we need another addressing system to help between the. So if the packet is traveling from A to Z and Z to B, then this network's address will be different from this network. So there needs to be a system to understand that difference. So the network layer adds a header. So this header actually is the logical address. So it includes the logical address along with some other things which we will see later. But right now we will just understand that it has the logical address. And the second functionality or the second responsibility of the network layer is the routing. So when independent networks or links are connected to create internetworks or a network of network, so the connecting devices are the routers, or we even call them as switches. So these routers are basically, they provide the route to pass to the final destination or switch to the final destination. So here in this case, Z can be a router. So one of the functions of the network layer is to provide this routing mechanism. Now we will see an example of the end-to-end delivery or the source to destination delivery. Now, important point to be remembered is network layer is responsible for the delivery of individual packets from the source host to the destination host. Now, another thing is This is the source to destination delivery, that is from A to F. Network layer is responsible for this part, while this hop to hop delivery is the responsibility of the data link layer. This is the difference between both of them, and one major difference is again the physical addressing and the logical addressing. Next, we have the transport layer. The transport layer is responsible for process to process delivery. So this is another new term again, process to process delivery of the entire message. So what is a process now? A process is the application program running on your host or the sender device. So the network layer oversees the source to destination delivery, as we have just seen now. It does not recognize any relationship between the packets. So suppose if we are sending 10 packets which make one complete data, then the network layer does not know that there is a relationship between those 10 packets. So it will take each packet, send it uh, from the source to the destination. While the transport layer, on the other hand, ensures that the whole message, suppose if the packet 1 should arrive before packet 2, and in this case we have 10 packets which should arrive in the sequence only. So this responsibility is taken by the transport layer. So it will also check for both error control and flow control for the entire packet. Data link layer look for the error control and the flow control of the frame. So here in the case of packets, transport layer is responsible. And also, since packets are from source to destination, so transport layer is responsible from the for the error control and flow control from source to destination, while data link layer was responsible for the error control and flow control from hop to hop. Also, the transport layer will take the data from the session layer and give it to the network layer, and it will be in the form of segments. So we have seen three terms by now. For data link layer, we had frames. For network layer, we had packets. And for transport layer, now we are using the term segments. And again, from the network layer, it will take it in the form of segments and pass it to the session layer on the receiving side. Now, what are the responsibilities of the transport layer? The responsibility, the first functionality or responsibility is service point addressing. So, what do you mean by service point addressing? Computers usually run multiple programs at the same time. For this reason, source to destination delivery means delivery not only from one computer to the next, but also from one specific process to another specific process. So the transport layer header must include something known as a service point address. So there is an address by the name service point address, or it is also known by the name of port address, which is more commonly used. Port address. So this transport layer is responsible for port address. Data link layer was responsible for physical address. Network layer was responsible for logical address. Transport layer is responsible for port address. So this P is actually port address. Now the network layer gets each packet to the correct computer. The transport layer gets the entire message to the correct process on that computer. Okay. Now process is basically, suppose if you are sending a packet of text, then the entire text should be in the correct format, and it should be viewed on the receiver side in the same way, and it should be opened on the Microsoft Word, right? So that is an example actually of the correct sending to the correct process. Now the second point is segmentation, or second function of transport layer is segmentation and reassembly. So a message is divided into segments, as I have said here, and each segment contains a sequence number in which sequence the message needs to be sent. These numbers enable the transport layer to reassemble them. So if suppose this is sequence 1, sequence 2 and sequence 3. In the case of the receiver side, the transport layer will again reassemble the packets together, and it will check whether all the packets have been received or maybe a packet has been lost while transmission, and if a packet is lost it will replace it. This is segmentation and reassembly. Next we have third, connection control. Connection control is basically the transport layer can be either connectionless or connection oriented. Okay, so there are two types of connections. One is without connection or connectionless or connection oriented. So a connectionless transport layer is treats each segment as an independent packet and delivers it to the transport layer at the destination. While at the connection oriented side, it will make a connection with the transport layer at the destination before delivering the packets. After all the data are transferred, the connection is terminated. So for this, let me just explain it over here. Yeah, connectionless and connection oriented. In the case of connectionless, we are sending a packet. Each packet, suppose if we have 10 packets, transport layer will keep on sending packet 1, packet 2, and in this way it will send 10 packets. But in the case of connection oriented, first the transport layer will check whether there is a connection, then it will send all the packets, and once all the packets are sent, it will terminate the connection also. Okay, so that is the case of connection oriented. Now after that we have, let me just erase this part. We have flow control is the fourth point, and the fifth is error control. Now, what is flow control in this case? Like the data link layer, the transport layer is responsible for the flow control, but here the flow control is performed from source to destination. But in the case of data link layer, it was from node to node or hop to hop. Next, we have error control. Error control is also similar. That is, here the errors are checked from the source to the destination. And how do we, if we have an error, what do we do? What is the step for error correction? Error correction is basically we retransmit the segment again, or retransmit the message again. What is an error basically? Error is basically damage or loss of data, or if the data is been sent 2 times or multiple times, that is duplication. So the transport layer is responsible for the delivery of a message from one process to another. Now, this is a process to process delivery of a message. So in this case, if you see, after the network layer, that is host to host delivery, transport layer will check whether the processes on both the systems are same or not. Now we have the next layer is the session layer. So the services provided by the first 3 layers, that is physical, data link, and the network layer, are not really sufficient. We need a session layer. What is a session layer? It is also known by the name of a dialog controller. What does it do? It will first establish the connection or interaction, then it will maintain that interaction, and it will synchronize the connection, synchronizes the connection between the two systems. Now, the session layer is responsible for 2 things. The first is dialog control, as it is known as the dialog controller. So it is responsible for dialog control. And the next is the synchronization. What is the dialog control? The session layer allows two systems to enter into a dialogue. Now, what do you mean by dialogue? Dialogue is the flow, whether it should be in half duplex mode. So both the systems will decide whether they should be in half duplex mode or the full duplex mode. Now, if you remember the terms, half duplex means it is the one-way road, full duplex is 2 ways. That is, the sending and receiving both can be done at the same time. Now, what is the next thing? Synchronization. The session layer basically adds checkpoints. Now, what do you mean by checkpoints? So, for example, if a system is sending a document with 1,000 pages, so after sending every 100 page, it will insert a checkpoint, or it will check whether the 100 pages have been received, and the sender will check whether the 100 pages have been acknowledged, or whether the receiver has sent that yes, I have received the 100 pages. Now, suppose in this case, if a crash happens at some page, suppose let's take an example of H480, then what will happen is that all the pages after 480 needs to be sent. Okay, so from 400 to 480 needs to be sent. The before pages, that is from page number 1 to 399, need not be sent. So this is the concept of synchronization, and this is done by the session layer. And here we have the relationship. So it will take from the presentation layer and synchronize the bits and send it to the transport layer, and the vice versa case. So the session layer is responsible for two things. One is dialog control and synchronization. Next, we have the presentation layer. So presentation layer is actually concerned with two things, which is syntax and semantics of the information. So this is the relation between the presentation layer. This is the presentation. It takes data from application and sends it to the session layer. Now the presentation layer, the functionality is first is translation. So if the two systems that are communicating are exchanging information in the form of character strings or numbers, the information must be changed to bit streams as we have seen in the physical layer. But different systems will use different encoding techniques. So the presentation layer is responsible for the interoperability. That is, it is responsible to check whether those different encoding methods can be changed into a common format. So translation is basically the common format of two different encoding techniques. And the next is encryption. So to carry sensitive information, a system must have privacy. So encryption is basically sending the data in some different form rather than the original form. And decryption is basically transforming the data from the secret or the encrypted message to the original message. So encryption and decryption is the responsibility of the presentation layer. And then we have finally the third responsibility or function, which is compression. So data compression is basically reducing the number of bits in the information. So data compression is basically very important for text, audio, video, and that is also the responsibility of a presentation layer. So it is responsible for three things: translation, compression, and encryption. Finally, we have the application layer. Application layer enables the user or the human or the software to access the network. It provides user interface and support for the services such as emails, file access and transfer, databases, and other all kinds of other services. So here, what are these X500, F8, FTAM, or these are the different application services available. So this is actually X400 is the message handling service. This is the file transfer and access management, and the X500 is the directory service. So message handling, so suppose if message handling needs to be done, then it will use the X400 application service to send an email. Now, what are the application layer responsibilities? The first is the network virtual terminal. What does this mean? A network virtual terminal is a software version of a physical terminal, and it allows the user to log on to a remote host, and it can use the different applications. The next is the file transfer access. So to send different files and to access the files and to even modify. That is this application file transfer access management FTAM. This application allows the user to access files from a host to make changes in that file, read data, retrieve files, etc. Then we have the mail services for email, and then finally directory services for the databases for various objects and services. Now, finally, the application layer is responsible for providing services to the user. And now we will see a summary of all the layers. So first and foremost is the physical layer. So to transmit bits over a medium to provide mechanical and electrical specifications, we use the physical layer. So basically, the important point to be remembered is here we have bits, and the bits are converted into either electrical signal or mechanical signal. Next, we have the data link layer. In the data link layer, the important keyword is frames, and then we have the hop to hop delivery. Next is the network layer, that is from we are moving packets from source to destination, that is providing internetworking. Next, we have the transport layer. So transport layer is process to process, and it provides message delivery and error recovery. Session layer is to create the sessions and terminate the sessions, that is dialog control. Presentation layer to translate, encrypt, and the compression of data. Translators getting it into a common format, encryption and decryption, and compressing the data of text, audio, and video. Basically, any data compression. Next, we have application layer to allow access to the network resources. That is, a user will access the different file. User will access the different application services available on the network. So this concludes the OSI model. We have seen the 7 layers in detail, and this will be an important LAQ. You have to describe the 7 layers and the functionality or the responsibility of each layer in detail if it is asked to explain OSI model in detail. This concludes OSI model. In the next session, we will see the next model or the protocol, which is TCP/IP.